Ayo, earlier in the week we got new artifact mods with the launch of Act 3, and someone in chat asked me, yo, these suck or nah? Good question, let's go find out. The first two new ones we got are very straightforward and don't really require much explanation. Overload auto rifles allow auto rifles to stun overload champs, and auto rifles are always overcharged when the modifier is active. I feel like people forget about that second part a lot. Go ahead and keep that in mind, and use it to power up your new Choir of One. It's basically a free 25% damage buff right there if the overcharged modifier is active in whatever you're playing. Next, authorized mod Charged Up, also self-explanatory. Takes the cost of the Charged Up armor mod from 3 energy down to 1, GG. Next up, Sustained Fire. Continuously damaging combatants with an auto rifle grants you damage resistance. I think the phrasing on that mod is kind of misleading. The word combatants, plural, implies you can turn this perk on by shooting many dudes, but that actually isn't the case. You can only trigger the perk if you shoot one enemy with 10 shots, meaning this perk will only come into play if you're shooting beefier enemies with ARs who can take that much damage to begin with. Good news though, the new Choir of One exotic auto rifle has a unique fire mode where if you hip fire it, you fire 5 projectiles all at once. I figured that might mean you could trigger sustained fire on the artifact with 2 Choir of One hip fire shots, but turns out you can actually do it with just 1. Hip fire the shot so it spreads out, and then the explosive tick damage counts extra, so again, you can proc the perk on Choir of One in just 1 shot. That'll only work if you're further than 7.5 meters away from the enemy, by the way. If you're too close to the target, the projectile gets condensed and it won't count as multiple shots. More on that another day, but yeah. The amount of incoming DR you get is resist times 3, which for the record is 40% in PvE, which is very generous. The DR timer goes for about 6 seconds. I know it says 5 on the HUD, but remember the extra second between hitting 0 and the perk actually going away, so 6 total. The perk can also be refreshed if you land 10 more shots on one single target. Overall, an okay perk for 99% of the auto rifles in the game, but an incredible perk for Choir of One, an already very strong weapon. Next up, we have Targeting Autoloader. While you have an auto rifle equipped, defeating combatants reloads your equipped weapon and temporarily increases weapon damage. Also, awards bonus progress when dealing final blows when surrounded. This one is kind of weird, a lot going on with this perk. Had a few suspicions while testing that were confirmed by Destiny Data Compendium, shout out to them. Here is the quick breakdown. Every time you get a kill, you get 50% counter progress, i.e. 2 kills at range with an auto rifle will give you 1 stack, and by the way, the max number of stacks is 5. However, if you get 1 kill while near 3 enemies, you'll get 1 stack automatically, so TLDR, build stacks quicker if you're in the thick of combat. If you're at 5 stacks, kills will grant 100% progress, i.e. it's easier to stay at 5 stacks when you're at 5 stacks. The amount of your mag that'll get reloaded ranges from 20 all the way up to 40% at level 5, and the amount of extra damage gained ranges from 10 all the way up to 20% at level 5. In short, Targeting Autoloader is basically a hodgepodge of Subsistence and Rampage Jr. mushed together into one perk for auto rifles only. Again, Bungie not very subtle, the overall motif of the new artifact mods. Please use Choir of One, it's very good. And I mean, hey, you don't gotta twist my arm or nothing. The final mod we're gonna take a look at is kinda out of left field though, Shock and Awe. When you're rocking either Arc or Prismatic, Arc final blows while you're amplified, summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. Random, but straightforward. The jolt of lightning is kinda small, but free crowd control is free crowd control. To my fellow Warlock mains out there who are still addicted to the completely free Prismatic loadout featuring Getaway Artist, good news. I can confirm that Arc Soul final blows will trigger the lightning strike. I should mention there does seem to be a cooldown of a few seconds though. The lightning won't come down on literally every kill. But the TLDR of all these new artifact mods is that I'm basically going to be rocking Indebted Kindness or Choir of One pretty much throughout the end of Act 3. Targeting Adjuster and Sustained Fire IMO are the best out of the bunch, but only because they can enhance Choir of One, which again is really good. You sick of hearing about that exotic yet? Me too. Anyway, subscribe to the channel for more and ring the notification bell for next week. We got Space Marines 2 content on the way and I'm getting pretty hype about it. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.